Hello, algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here, and today we're going to be writing equations in slope-intercept form, and that's when the equation looks like y equals mx plus b. Some of you have seen that before. I know Mr. Almady, you did that from doing the wrong summer packet, and you went and taught yourself that stuff. That's awesome that you did that. By the way, if you're wondering why y is the same as f of x. Okay, it's just that we're not always dealing with a function when we're doing a line. Most lines are functions, not all of them. And so we'll use y more generically than f of x, but they are the same thing. So when you were doing your input-output tables and you wrote your equations, you used f of x. Y can be used interchangeably in most cases. Now, I've mentioned this in class, and I think Mr. Freund, I think you kind of came up with something about b. Remember, b is the y-intercept, but they use the letter b because it means to begin, right? It's how we start the graph. When the equation is in slope y-intercept, remember y must be alone, right? The y must be alone. Then we start by graphing the y-intercept first. Let me write y must be alone. This should be like total review for you. Okay, and then finally the m is the slope, and they use m for the movement. The movement. That's how you move on the graph. So I expect you to already know how to do this. Y equals 3/4 x minus 7. First thing I'm going to do is go down to 7, 9, 8, 7. And then I'm going to do my movement. I'm going to rise 3 and run 4. So let me infinitely clone that. I'm going to rise 1, 2, 3 and run 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then from that second point, I can rise 1, 2, 3 and run 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I wanted, I could go change both signs. I could do -3, -4. So I'd go down 1, 2, 3, and left 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going through this rather quickly because it should be total review for you. If it's not, you need to come in and see me and get some help. All right, so let's see here. There's that. And put an arrowhead on because lines go on forever. And I'll change the color. There we go. And there's my line. And remember, there are not 4 points on this line. Okay, if you think that, you're not understanding what a line is. A line is the set of all x's and y's, or all points, that are solutions to the equation. Which equation? This one. So this is a solution to the equation, so it's on the line. But if I put 1 in here, you know, x is 1, okay, and I'd get 3/4 times 1 minus 7. That's a positive 1 there, by the way. Sorry about that. I'll have 3/4 minus 7. Now, don't make a problem like this hard. Look, if I had $7 and I lost 3/4, I would have 6 1/4 left. But since the 7 has a greater absolute value, my answer is negative. It's like I have 3/4 in my pocket, 75 cents, and I owe you $7. I give you the 75 cents I have, I still owe $6.25, right? So if you come down here and go, look, see, 1, and then down 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then go just about a quarter more. Look at that. I'm right on the line, aren't I? So there's an infinite number of points on this line. I could have used an x value of, say, 1.121563. I could do the math. I could get a value out. Okay, it would be on the line somewhere right around there. Okay, you can test that if you want. Grab a calculator and do 3/4 times this x value, and I'll bet you get an x value right around negative 5.9 something, maybe -6. But I'm guessing it's maybe 5 9/10, and it won't be 9/10 on the nose. It'll be 9 point, whatever. Okay, now I also expect you to be able to take an equation or take information like the slope is 6 and have this point and say, oh, okay, well, I need to write an equation in slope-intercept form. Well, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Well, I'm told the slope is 6, So I have y equals 6x. Um, Now, I need the y-intercept. Well, what do I know about every point on the y-axis? That x equals 0. So if I give you a point where x equals 0, I'm on the y-axis. If that point is on the y-axis and on the line, then therefore this is a y-intercept. And so all I have to do is subtract 3. Why do I subtract 3? Because I don't want to write plus and negative 3. Double signing is a waste of time. Okay, it was a negative 3, so I take a 3 at the end. And there you go. This equation has a slope of 6 and passes through the point 0, negative 3. Okay? Now, sometimes you'll be given 2 points. You won't be given a slope. If you're given 2 points, you need to find the slope. So the first thing we're going to do is find the slope. And remember, to find the slope, we subtract the y's, we subtract the x's. That will give us our slope. And the y's rise to the top. So I'm going to do 3 minus 1, and I'm going to do 8 minus 0. Well, 3 minus 1 is 2, 8 minus 0 is 8, and simplified is 1/4. That means my slope must equal 1/4. Now I need the y-intercept, but if you were paying attention just a few minutes ago, you notice you have the y-intercept right here. It's 1. B is 1. So my equation would be y equals 1/4 x plus 1. Now they won't always be that easy. Let's pretend you didn't know about the 0, 1. You didn't know it was the y-intercept. You could do this. And this is what we're going to be doing on the other problem. So I'll do this example and then give you a few more. Okay, I have the equation y equals mx plus b. Now I know m because I just calculated it, right? So I'm going to put 1/4 in m's position. Now, I need to figure out b. I don't know what b is. What the heck is b? It's the y-intercept, but I don't know its value. Well, if I could figure out m, x, and y, I could put them all into the equation and solve for b, right? I have 4 variables here. If I could fill in 3 of the variables, I could solve for the missing one, the unknown one, and I would know b. All I need to know is x and y. Well, look at this. This is an x value, and that's a y value, isn't it? So I'm going to plug those into my equation. I'm going to put 3 for y. I'm going to put 8 over 1 for x, because 1/4 is a fraction. And then I'm going to add b. Okay, now off to the side here, I have 1/4 times 8 over 1. Remember, back in the first quarter, I showed you how to simplify this. 4 goes into 4 ones, goes into 8 twice. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. Simplified is 2. So now my equation becomes 3 equals 2 plus b. Now I just have a one-step equation, and I'm going to solve by getting rid of the 2. Now I got to warn you, those of you that kind of blew off the first quarter or like didn't try to learn stuff, this is going to be pretty rough. You got a lot of learning to do. Got a lot of catch up to do. Okay, now those of you that mastered the stuff from first quarter, this is going to be easy for you. So my equation is going to be y equals 1/4, right? X plus, what's b? 1. Now, of course, I got the same thing because we were just pretending we didn't know the y-intercept, but I was demonstrating procedure. All right, so let's try number 1 here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to find m. That'll be our first step. So I know I'm going to subtract the y's. I'm going to go 9 minus 7. Then I'm going to go 6 minus 3. All right, 9 minus 7 is 2. 6 minus 3 is 3. M is 2/3. That doesn't simplify. If you had gone the other way, 7 minus 9, you would have gotten negative 2. And then you'd be forced to go 3 minus 6, and you'd get negative 3, which would simplify to 2/3. So you'll get the same answer just with an extra step. All right, so we found m. Now, step 2 is we have to find b. But to find b, we're going to use the equation y equals mx plus b. We're going to fill in everything we know. Well, right now for m, we know 2/3. That doesn't look like a 3. Okay, so I've got the 2/3. Now, I need a y and an x. I have an, excuse me, I have an x and a y here, and an x and a y here. It doesn't matter which one you pick. I would suggest if you have a fraction for your slope, pick the one that will make the math easier. In this case, they're both going to be pretty easy mathematically speaking. I'm going to pick the 3/1, and I'm going to put 7 in for y, and I'm going to solve for b. All right, well, as I look here, find a color that I like. There we go. All right, I've got 3's canceling out, and I'll have 7 equals 2 plus the b. B is not alone. I subtract 2 from both sides. 5 is going to equal b. So now I found b. There's one more step, right? The equation. When you write the equation, you need to have variables in it, not all numbers. So my equation, my variables will be y and x. Y is going to equal, what's the slope? 2/3 x plus 5, the y-intercept. And there is my equation. All right, let's do one more, and then I'll give you 2 to do, and you can see my solutions. All right, so step 1 is find m. So m, let's see, I'm going to do -6 minus -4. Change those to positive. Minus the negative, same as plus the positive. My numerator becomes -2. Then I'm going to have 4 minus -4. Those two will change, causing an 8, simplifying to -1/4. All right, so that's m. I've got m. M equals -1/4. All right, now I have to find b. I will use the equation y equals mx plus b, and I'll fill in what I know. I know that m is -1/4. I know that x could be 4 or -4. I think I'm going to use -4 because I want those negatives to cancel, but that's just a preference. If I use -4, then y is also -4 in this case, not always, just in this case. And I need a plus b at the end. Okay, I get -4 here. These cancel. The negatives cancel. I'm left with 1 plus b. I'm going to subtract 1 from each side. -5 equals b. So now I have my y-intercept. Now I have to write my equation complete with variables. So my variables are y. I need my slope, which was what, -1/4. Then I need a variable x, and then a -5. If you write plus -5, I won't take off for it, but I'll encourage you to not do it. Double signing is unnecessary. Okay, so here's 2 more problems for you to do. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can do it. Remember, first find the slope, then find the y-intercept, and then write your equation. Keep it real simple. Okay, when you unpause, I'll be ready to show my solutions. All right, here come my solutions, my slope. Let's see, I'm going to have -6 plus 2 over 1 minus 5. That's going to give me a -4 over a -4, which is a 1, so my slope is 1. I'm going to use y equals mx plus b to help me solve for b. I think I'm going to use this x and this y because the numbers are a little bit smaller. I'm going to put -6 equals 1 times 1 plus b. This, of course, is 1. Subtracting 1 from both sides, I get -7 equals b. Now that I have my y-intercept and my slope, I can write y equals x minus 7. Now, some of you are thinking I forgot the slope. I didn't. I just don't like to put in unnecessary things. How many x's did I write here? 1. I could have done this. It's not wrong to do it, but it's unnecessary, so I didn't do it. Okay, there we go. Oop, let me get rid of the whole one. There is the best answer. Now, if you put that 1 in there, I won't take off for it. I'm just going to encourage you to not do it. Okay, problem number 4. Let's find the slope. Let's go with 9 plus 3. 9 minus negative 3 is 9 plus 3, which would be 12. And negative 3 minus 1, which would be a negative 4. So now we have a negative 3. Slope is negative 3. I go to y equals mx plus b, excuse me, and I think I'm going to use x and y. And so I'm going to have negative 3 equals negative 3 times 1 plus b, which means that I have negative 3 plus b on the right-hand side. I'm going to add 3 to both sides, and I'm going to get b equals 0. Oh, b is 0. The y-intercept is 0. I think this is going through the origin. Yeah, absolutely. So my equation will be y equals, there's slope is 1. Oh no, my slope is negative 3, and then x. I could put plus 0 on, but it's totally unnecessary. There you go. There's your lesson for tonight. Mr. Lawrence signing off. Good night, everybody.